From the ashes of humble beginnings, rise the sense of regeneration, signaling the dawn of a new age. The foundations of the old and antiquated, now demolished, and in its place the newly built pillars of fearlessness and opportunity. Dreams are clearer, expectations are set higher, and the quest for championship gold is even stronger than it's ever been before. At one time or another, everything goes through a period of evolution. The world of wrestling is no different. Welcome to a new age. Welcome to a new era. Welcome to a new FWE.
With FWE Fantasia less than 24 hours away, we welcome you here tonight to the go-home show of Saturday Night Smash. As I'm Seth Cole, along to the Wayfinder Cruiser Champion Jack Mitchell. And Jack, tonight we tie up those loose ends with the PLE on the horizon. We finally determine the final 50% of the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Heavyweight Championship.
That we do, and we also have the family taking on the Gotham Inmates in tag team action later tonight. That was a important matchup because that's going to determine whether or not the Gotham Inmates become #1 contenders for the men's tag team titles.
They've been on a tremendous run here in the last couple of weeks, and they'll look to take down a couple of family members tonight, but we now get ready to determine the third participant in that Universal Heavyweight Championship match tomorrow night.
Mario
So far,
used to the tag team action. He's going to be flying solo tonight.
and so far we know Levi McIntyre, Cole Eastwood have moved their way into the field to fight for that Universal Championship. Tonight we get both of the final two Fatal 4-Way matches, and it just kind of seems to be the running theme in Fatal 4-Ways. Pick your moments, pick your spots, and hope that you end up having just enough time to complete that pinfall.
Something else we got to talk about as well, endurance is going to be a factor in this matchup as well. You want to try and end it quickly, although it's hard to end a Fatal 4-Way quickly. The PLE is tomorrow. That's kind of unprecedented territory for us here in FWE, but it is going to be something that we're going to have to get used to. The moment we're done here, we got to jump on the plane and head down to Disney World in Orlando for the Fantasia PLE. So these guys are not going to be at 100%, whoever wins this matchup going into the championship match tomorrow.
Yeah, timing of these Fatal 4-Ways could mean everything for sure. And I mentioned about the fact that Cole Eastwood has already moved on. He could have a teammate, question mark, tomorrow night.
Very well, could be the case. I mentioned Mario used to the tag team action, going to have to get used to singles action here tonight. Same thing with Anthony McCreary, and it would be a very uncomfortable spot, I guess we'll say, if he ends up having to advance to face off against his tag team partner in the Fatal 4-Way tomorrow.
You know, one of the things I've loved about this tournament so far is, with the exception of Hulk, who we know did not advance in his Fatal 4-Way qualifier, every individual that has participated so far in the two previous and so far that have made their way out here to ringside have never yet won or held a world championship here in FWE. Tomorrow night could be a first for their careers. talk about maybe not being physically at 100% tomorrow night. How about Thanos coming into this matchup after what we saw him and Kratos go through last week on Saturday Night Smash?
Yeah, the two of them basically went to war. Really, 2 weeks ago is when it all started. They basically took on each other as the big men here on Saturdays, and then they faced off again in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And they're both 1-1. So you have to figure that Thanos and Kratos are probably going to be going at it again in the future. Especially though, you have to kind of put the rivalry aside here tonight because they both have the Fatal 4-Way matches in this tournament.
Yeah, to your point, we may not have to wait very long. It may be tomorrow night that we see them lock up again with Thanos in this qualifier, Kratos in the qualifier later on this evening, as you got to think Levi McIntyre, Cole Eastwood going to keep a very close watch on this matchup here, see who another competitor will be that they'll face off against tomorrow night in Orlando, Florida.
Takedown by Thanos right out of the gate, and Peter Pan going to kick out at 1. 4-1.
You certainly would have to think, being the taller, arguably stronger individual, Thanos a favorite here, but does this being under Fatal 4-Way rules, does that take away that possible advantage that Thanos has?
It probably could. I mean, Thanos is probably ready and willing to dish out as much punishment as he could, but let's not forget, with it being a Fatal 4-Way, there's no countouts or DQs. People could use weapons as equalizers if they want to try to take him down.
It seems a bit of a mismatch right here. Thanos and the small cruiserweight Peter Pan locking up. A roll up there by Anthony McCrory on Mario, and that's the pitfalls of a Fatal 4. You saw Thanos had to do that quick 180 to make sure he broke it up. Usually in the last couple of qualifiers, we've ended up seeing Levi McIntyre and Cole Eastwood able to take advantage of their other opponents either being down outside of the ring or not paying attention. And Mario did not pay attention right there. He was focused on Thanos and then got met with the head of that sledgehammer.
In fairness, when you're sort of in a one-on-one situation against Thanos like Mario was, I don't think I would have taken my eyes off of him either, but it is, when you do that, the problem is it's pretty easy to miss a giant sledgehammer going right at your face.
That weaponry coming into play. You were talking about no disqualifications as Mario chair in hand, and he's going to pay the price. Yeah, he got bulldogged right on that chair that he introduced into the matchup.
Notice he hasn't really moved a little bit after that. He's now slowly working his way back up to his feet. This is Mario just kind of have to wear it down a little bit. Now with a DDT of his own onto Thanos.
Takes the big man off of his feet. And now, whoa!
Oh, man.
Little two for the price of one. He kicked Anthony, and then Anthony bounced back into Peter Pan.
Domino effect there. And a cover here by Peter. Oh, jeez. Mario with a huge boot.
Mentioned about both Mario and Anthony, well-versed in the tag team division. Both have formerly held the tag team championships. Peter Pan there with a nice Hurricane Rana takedown. Don't know how he got the leverage on Thanos, and he almost picked up a victory. I mean, we ended up seeing Anthony tap out Hulk in the first qualifier. I think maybe Peter pinning Thanos might actually be a bigger underdog story than what we saw there.
It very well could be, but I mean, you know, Thanos is no stranger to losing to the smaller people. Hint, hint.
I was going to say, I wondered if we'd get some kind of a reference to the bouts you've had with him in the past.
Well, there's no Hell in a Cell structure to drop anybody through here, so I feel like everybody can kind of be in their element. There's a cover here by Thanos on a Mario, but Peter Pan gonna break that one up in 1.
Oh, nice leg takedown there. Almost a springboard Rough Rider, it seemed there, by Peter Pan, who now stuns Anthony up against the ropes there with the drop kick.
And he's smart here, taking that steel chair right to his next opponent. I mean, doesn't look like any of those shots are totally connecting, but kept him on his feet for the time being. Now he's being carried.
Mario's got that kendo stick. You mentioned about the weaponry maybe being the deciding factor to equalize against Thanos, who I believe he just slammed Mario down onto Thanos. Peter Pan with the Hurricane Rana cover here on Anthony. Oh, and nearly stole a pinfall there.
Talk about how Fatal 4-Way matches, they don't often end quick. It almost ended very quickly, but now the vice grip by Thanos.
Oh my gosh! Reverse choke slam lands face first into the canvas below. Oh, this could be bad news for Mario. Oh! Big power slam on Mario. Cover is in, and Anthony, after laying in some kendo stick shots to Peter Pan, in to break it up.
And they come to the rescue just in time. Oh! Almost looked for a second like that was a low blow. But there's no DQs.
Oh! I believe there was a mystery block punch there by Mario on Peter Pan. Anthony's got the Anaconda Vice locked in here on Thanos, and Thanos almost tapped out.
There's Mario rushing to try to break through that because Anthony, like I said, it was nearly a low blow. Cover here by Mario.
Perfect situation for Mario to go to Fantasia, and Anthony out at 2. Again, the wear and tear of this fatal four-way, they will be feeling the wounds of this, and whoever advances will have a rather uncomfortable plane ride down to Orlando either tonight or tomorrow morning in preparation for a second fatal four-way matchup.
I mean, like you mentioned too, this is a great, tournament opportunity for these people because a lot of them, especially in this matchup, nobody's ever held a world title at the top level before. So, golden opportunity here in this tournament. Everybody knows what's at stake, but that might mean you might get a little bit desperate and you don't want to wear yourself out too much with that flight on the horizon.
I mean, forget world title. None of these four have ever held a singles title here in FWE.
That's a good point.
Oh, nice takedown there by Peter Pan. I thought he was going to go for a Spanish fly. Anthony with a kendo stick shot to Thanos. Peter with the Hurricane Rana into the cover again. His third time the charge. Wow. Yes, it is! Well, I mentioned about Thanos being the bigger individual. Did that put him maybe as a disadvantage, as maybe a big target? Maybe on the opposite side, being the smaller individual. That worked out for Peter Pan to slip in there and steal his way to Fantasia.
Maybe could have been the case. You see the wounds of war on his face, but he certainly earned that victory, and he's going to be going on to Fantasia. Now there's only one spot left in that Fatal 4-Way at Fantasia. That'll be determined in our main event later tonight.
Got to be classified as an underdog victory for Peter Pan. Could he be a world champion in 24 hours? We'll have to wait and see. Spider-Man trying to get himself some momentum. Will take on Craven next. The #1 pick in the draft for Saturday Night Smash is in action next. We cannot wait to join you tomorrow night in the most magical place on earth, just on the outskirts of Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, for Fantasia, our first Sunday night PLE.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Queens, New York, weighing in at 155 pounds, Spider-Man!
Well, I prefaced it before the commercial break. Spider-Man looking to kind of get his feet underneath him here, gain some traction in FWE. A couple of weeks ago, involved in a very competitive matchup with Shaggy Rogers and came out on the losing end, but take nothing away from him. It was a lengthy, very competitive match, and some might say maybe the experience edge went to Shaggy Rogers, which gave him the opportunity to come out with the W. Spider-Man here tonight, though, going to take on an individual where really there's no secrets. These two guys know each other very well outside the squared circle.
Absolutely. Both strong rivals, obviously, outside the ring here, but they both know each other very well, so this matchup is sure to be just as competitive, and they're both newcomers to FWE as well.
And his opponent from Moscow, Russia, weighing in at 300 pounds, Hunter K.
both of these individuals in their debuts in one-on-one matchups coming out on the losing side. It was 3 weeks ago that we saw Craven make his in-ring debut against Dylan Poteet. Poteet, the former Intercontinental Champion, able to pin Craven. Now tonight, both Craven and Spider-Man looking to get that first singles win of their FWE careers.
With both of them being picked at really, I think, opposite ends of the draft. I think that's something that they both have in mind right now. Obviously, though, Spider-Man, you would think there's a whole lot more pressure on him because he was the first pick despite having never wrestled inside an FWE ring before the draft. He wants to prove to our commissioner here on Saturday as Nick Fury that it was worth the pick.
Craven, of course, was involved last week in Fatal 4-Way competition in one of our Universal Heavyweight Championship qualifying matchups. And you gotta wonder here too for both of these individuals. As mentioned, Spider-Man took on Shaggy Rogers, a former Tri-Wizard champion. Craven took on Dylan Poteet, a former Intercontinental champion. Can some of the experience of being in the ring with a seasoned veteran who's won championship gold, can that rub off on either of these guys here in their matchup against each other tonight?
I think it certainly can, and I think that, you know, with Spider-Man's case specifically, that's a nice little arm drag from the top rope to the outside of the ring. I think in Spider-Man's case, you also, you know, it was his first matchup in FWE. I mean, sure, there was some pressure on him to win with being the first pick, but at the end of the day, you either win or you learn. And I think it's Spider-Man, it was a great opportunity for him to learn, and now he can put those new techniques that he might have learned against Shaggy Rogers in his matchup here tonight against Craven.
You talk about the pressure, what about the nerves as well? Not only in the position that you were in the draft, but when you're making your debut in anything, there's always those butterflies in your stomach.
Absolutely, but I think I mentioned it at the time too. A lot of those times the butterflies are there until you get hit for the first time, and then you're just thinking about dishing out as much punishment as you can.
This is certainly your typical big man versus little man type matchup. Craven, of course, going to be relying on that size and strength. Spider-Man going to be the duck and move, high flying, fast, quick movement to try and keep the big man down, and so far has been successful. Has Craven down off of his feet, and it's almost like he's waiting for Craven to get back up to his feet here. Is that maybe a little bit of that inexperience coming into play? More than likely, I think, should have kept the pressure on him while he had him down.
Might have been inexperience, might have just been mental games as well. You see, he used that go behind to his advantage and now lands that top rope moonsault there, so.
Well, the hesitation didn't cost him, at least.
True, he's still staying on the offense here. I'm just not really sure why, unless it was a mental game, he was letting his feet off the gas for a moment. Now he'll go into the cover.
Off that power bomb. Craven gonna get the right shoulder up off the mat.
Uh-oh.
Are we going slugfesting here?
Looks like it. I mean, these two, like you said, the history between them outside the ring is very rich, so they're not going to hold back from this.
Yeah, this is interesting because normally here in FWE, it takes us weeks, sometimes months to build up animosity enough for a payoff match. These two had the animosity coming in before a single punch was thrown.
Honestly, probably why they wanted the match.
Now Craven got the better end of that slugfest, now in control, and oh, what in the world here? Might be setting Spider-Man up maybe for a reverse Alabama slam, using those ropes for the leverage, and now Craven going up top.
Top, the heat-seeking elbow connects.
Spider-Man now in a bad way as Craven is rolling. Hits that side neck breaker. And now Irish whip off the ropes.
The difference between them as well, because Spider-Man was basically dazed in that sitting upright position, and Craven kept his foot on the gas. Spider-Man didn't earlier, and it cost him, and now the vice grip.
Locking it in on that nerve right up there underneath the neck. What in the world?
Spider-Man broke up that submission and tried to keep his foot on the gas. What a kick there. That'll drop Craven.
Right in the mush. And now up top. We know Spider-Man loves to fly, and he'll hit the double stomp all the way out to the floor.
That was impressive. We're going to get Craven back into the ring, and he'll get himself there as well, so countouts won't be an issue.
Shot to the midsection. Oh, wow! Little extra mustard on that code red. Takes Craven down, and Craven might be in the drop zone.
Spider-Man thinking about it.
Springboard off the ropes, hits a massive forearm, and he's not done. Oh, what a roundhouse kick. Lights out on Craven. Is that enough for Spider-Man to pick up his first win? Yes!
You might want to check on Craven. I think his jaw just got turned into powder.
Here's your winner, Spider-Man.
First singles win for Saturday Night Smash's #1 draft pick, Spider-Man, finally in the win column as he vanquishes an old foe.
Yeah, you know, Craven might not necessarily be too pleased about that, but for Spider-Man, he wanted to get that monkey off his back, if you will, and he absolutely did. A great result here against Craven tonight. Picks up his first singles win in FWE.
Well, we've seen in the last couple of weeks a brand new attitude by Toxic Attraction. They get ready to take on the current holders of the Women's Tag Team Championships, the Daughters of Thanos, next. No disqualification tag team matchup coming up next here on Saturday Night Smash.
Last week, Matt McIntyre earned himself a title rematch for the United States Championship by promising me that no members of the family would interfere on his behalf. Matt, believe me, a small part of me does believe your word, but the rest of me does not trust your other family members. Therefore, to ensure that our one-on-one matchup remains solely between us, the stipulation I have chosen for our United States Championship match at Fantasia is a steel cage match.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tomorrow night, steel cage match for the United States Championship.
How about that? Wonder Woman making absolutely damn certain that no family members are going to get involved.
Tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, JP and
Matt McIntyre will look to get his United States Championship back tomorrow night, but this evening, Toxic Attraction get ready for tag team action, and it's been the last couple of weeks we've seen this new attitude out of both Kim Possible and Shigo, and you know, a lot of people are on the fence. Some people are in the corner of Toxic Attraction, others wondering if maybe they've been blaming others for their past shortcomings, but you cannot argue with results. Last week, a decisive victory over Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, they've been on quite the roll as of late, and now they get the current tag team champions, and you have to imagine if they're able to pick up a victory in this no disqualification matchup, you'd have to think they're going to be new #1 contenders.
Former tag team champions in their own right, looking to climb their way back up to the top of the mountain. But they're going to have to go through the two women that are currently on their second reign with the tag team titles.
and their opponents, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Cassie Morgan and Ex-Hina, the Bad Girl.
Well, we saw the Daughters of Thanos back at the Combat Evolved PLE pull double duty. They ended up winning a Fatal 4-Way Tornado Eliminator tag match on the pre-show. They would then go on that night on the main show to challenge Belle and Rapunzel, the Disney Queens. They would walk out with the title belts. Potentially, as you said, here tonight, looking to maybe vanquish Toxic Attraction from the conversation of potential #1 contendership.
And, what's impressive about those results at Combat Evolved is they had to work through some inter-team turmoil. If you remember during that pre-show matchup, I believe it was Gamora who tried to throw a chair at Ursula, and it completely missed, and it hit her sister in the face instead. So they had to work through some turmoil in order to end up with those tag team titles, but they ended up doing so nonetheless. Now they get a completely new type of opponent here in Toxic Attraction.
As mentioned, they are on their second reign with the Women's Disney Tag Team Championships, one of 3 teams that have held those belts multiple times, along with the Disney Queens and Team Let It Go. And we mentioned it, this is a no disqualification at tag team matchups, so you will see the individuals continue to tag each other in and out. But with there being no disqualifications, we could maybe see some weaponry come into play, maybe some questionable actions inside of the ring that the referee will have to let go.
And other teams as well. That's something else that you might want to keep in mind, is that there are other people backstage you might want to think about having a hand in this one, and there's nothing the referee can do about it. Ernest Wright is only out there to count 1, 2, 3 to check submissions.
Or laying in right hands to Shigo. You gotta wonder here as well, we talk about the possibility here if Toxic Attraction is able to pick up a victory against the Daughters of Thanos, when potentially could that tag team title match take place? I mean, not outside the realm of possibility. It could be as soon as tomorrow night. Both of these teams may not find themselves physically at 100% going into that matchup, depending on what happens here tonight.
Yeah, I almost wonder if that's something that these teams are considering as well. If the Daughters of Thanos do end up finding themselves on the losing end of this matchup, is hold up here. Nebula started to cover after Gamora tagged her in, and a kick out at 1. His stamina and endurance going to have to be considered, not just with this scenario, but basically every scenario here tonight. Obviously, with our main event still to come, that's going to be the final matchup in our Fatal 4-Way tournament for the Universal Heavyweight Championship.
We wait to see who the 4th and final participant is going to be. Levi McIntyre, Cole Eastwood had already advanced coming into tonight. Peter Pan now going to be a part of that Fatal 4-Way tomorrow evening at Fantasia. 1 slot left to fill. And still to come later on tonight as well. Going to have some more tag team action as the Gotham Inmates, they will take on Matt McIntyre and Double D of the Family in the hopes of gaining themselves #1 contendership for the men's Disney Tag Team titles.
Oh, nice move there from Nebula. That action's going to spill to the outside. I don't believe any countouts are going to be in effect either, because this is a no disqualification match.
No, there are countouts, just no DQs.
Oh, what is Kim Possible doing?
Walking the tightrope here on the barricade. Oh, it hits a moonsault from the top of the barricade there. Very innovative, using the outside of the ring, that environment to her advantage.
Is that new attitude that we're seeing from Toxic Attraction. I don't think Kim Possible is somebody who would do that sort of thing in the past, but changing their strategies up. Tables are coming out. We're at a count of 8, though. We got to get back inside the ring. And they do.
Both women will get in at the count of 9 as Kim Possible. Oh, now on the receiving end of a reverse Death Valley driver, courtesy of Nebula.
And that landed on the underside of the table right there. Coffin drop as well for good measure.
Now Nebula with the tag to Gamora. You got to wonder here, too. We talk about in just a normal tag match, there's always that importance, that team chemistry of frequent tags, keeping the fresher individual in. As we introduce potential weaponry into this matchup, I feel like there's going to be more of an emphasis on that, because there's going to be a lot more damage dealt out by the participants in the ring, as Gamora with a roll-up on Kim, who kicks out at 1.
Punching on the knees there is Gamora. maybe looking for another weapon of her own, and Shigo getting involved there. She's not legal. She just meant a kendo stick to the face.
There are no disqualifications. Oh my goodness, Kim Possible was looking to maybe set that table up, and Gamora blindsided her with that kendo stick. Big kick right up under the jaw by Nebula. Cover is in, and Kim able to power out at 2. We talk about the fact that ever since we've had this brand extension, is now a second table being introduced into this matchup by one half of the tag team champions, but it's been a lot of pressure put on both the men and the women that are at the top of the respective tag divisions, because now you have number one contendership statuses on both Thursday and Saturday nights. So if you're the champs, doesn't matter what brand you're on, you're basically looking at attacks on both sides. Big move there by Kim Possible on the floor. And now,
oh man.
Springboard moonsault does connect. When you make those moves to the outside, you are really only have 50% chance there of that move hitting. If you end up having just a slight miscalculation, you're meeting nothing but floor.
Cover here. Impossible trying to put this match away and kick out at 1. Feel like it's a little late in the matchup for kickouts at 1 there, so that was impressive from Nebula. She's still got plenty of life left. Oh, look at this.
Oh, what a slam by Nebula. Oh my gosh! That shot just echoed through the Fantasy Dome.
Oh, here comes another one. Oh man, what are they putting in the food here in catering tonight? Everybody's landing so many devastating kicks. And we got a kendo stick again. Well, didn't get a chance to use it, and Kim Possible looked like she wanted to get involved there for a second. Which
would have been perfectly legal in this no disqualification match, as Nebula's lower back driven into the apron of the ring there. Referee Ernest Stride again beginning the count up to a count of 4. No disqualifications, but there are countouts here, so these women have to be aware of that when they're having this extracurricular activity outside of the ropes.
Already up to a 7 count, but they're going to work their way between the ropes here.
Now Nebula in the wrong part of town here. Tag into Kim Possible. Little double team here as they'll hit the double shoulder tackle.
I was afraid of the back body drop. We've seen teams go for that before, and where that table was in the ring, I didn't like that scenario there, but I guess for better that it was in a different spot of the ring, and maybe we'll avoid that scenario. Oh man, another huge kick.
Lights out for Gamora. This might be it. Cover in and a kick out at 2. That would have been a huge pinfall victory over the tag champs.
Still not totally out of the realm of possibility. I mean, you can see that Impossible a little bit frustrated that she wasn't able to complete that pinfall, and that'll just fire her up even more.
Table set up in the ring. You heard the crowd here in Albany, New York,
another one?
Appreciating the matchup that we're seeing here between these two tag teams, as Nebula now going to steal the table away. Hits Kim Possible in the front of the face, and Kim got back up and hits a kick. The back of her head bounced off of our announce table jacket. She got right back up to her feet.
That she did, and now she's in the ring. She did not take that one too kindly. This is an interesting scenario because she's not legal.
But there's no disqualification, so you legally could be in there. Facebuster by Kim.
This is a problem, too, if you're Gamora, too, because now your partner's down. You don't have anybody to tag in.
Shigo now off the tag. Great point there with no Nebula on the apron. There is no escape route. Gamora going to have to go it alone for the moment. Big move there by Shigo. I think that was a modified version of the Plasma Strike. Cover is in and Gamora out at 2.
Somehow Gamora able to have enough wherewithal to keep going. Thrown into the wrong part of town here, and the tag team action again. Out of Toxic Attraction. That very easily could have gone through the table. That was well struck.
Yeah, to your point, that table is ominously standing there on the far side of the ring. Set up by Kim Possible, who It's an arm drag there by Gamora, and I think she might have been planning for Gamora to go through that table. Not enough momentum, though.
Looks like she's working her way back. Yep, there's the hot tag. Nebula was back on the apron there, and she and Kim Possible looked for a second like they were going to take it outside the ring. There's a lot of tables out here.
There are indeed. Nebula now with chair in hand. Kim Possible going to cut her off at the pass. Nebula is legal here. As Kim up on the top rope, using that leverage with gravity for the arm drag. Oh, and might have been going to the corner to set up something. Maybe a little error in positioning, because it put her within arm's length for a strike from behind, courtesy of Gamora. Again,
And you know what?
illegal!
Oh!
There's no
That's the point I was
DQ.
gonna make.
It's all legal. All legal as Kim Possible in for the cover, and Gamora makes the save.
I think Nebula was really lucky that Gamora had enough awareness to realize what was going on there, because I don't think she was getting up.
This is what we were talking about with the no disqualification stipulation. Anything goes. And Kim Possible utilizing that rule to her and Shigo's advantage, is now Shigo in off the tag, and Nebula is down in a bad way. Needs to make a tag, and Gamora again with a shot from behind, this time to Shigo.
He was going after Gamora earlier while she was not the legal participant. Oh, look at this.
Oh, what a takedown by Nebula!
I think her face might have landed on the table. Covers in. I'm not even going to let that get to a 1 count.
Nebula looking for some kind of a scoop slam. Shigo keeps her low center of gravity, and an uppercut takes Nebula down. Now the tag back in here to Kim Possible, who gets met with a massive uppercut. And wisely, Kim rolls out of the ring.
That was smart. Oh, and I think there was a bit of a headbutt as well there from Kim to the outside.
Cheap shot, but now Mandible Claw is in. Is Kim gonna tap out? No, Shigo in there to save Kim Possible from tapping out to the zero signal Mandible Claw.
This matchup has been electric. See how determined that these teams are. I mean, oh man, just throwing that chair. I mean, you got Toxic Attraction trying to become new #1 contenders, and I feel like the way that they're wrestling in this matchup right now almost feels like the Daughters of Thanos are, you know, aware of what they've been doing the last few weeks and want to try and shut down this opportunity before it even can be opened up to them.
I'll tell you what this feels like to me. This feels like a tag team matchup for the titles. It's a not title match, but with what we've seen, it feels like the belts are hanging in the balance, and Gamora nearly, what was that, 2.999? How many nines can we add on to that?
That was so close to being the end of the matchup, as there's a knee to the gut there, and I think Kim might have landed on that steel chair that's laying right there.
Kim Possible, was trying to get away from Gamora, shot low to that kneecap, and again hits a face buster.
Again, lying on that steel chair, that's going to dish out even more punishment, especially if this connects, which it does.
Again, you go back to the words of Toxic Attraction. They're carving their own path towards the tag team titles, and they're trying to do so here at the expense of the women that currently hold the belts, as Shigo now setting Gamora up, drops the elbow right across the forehead. We are waning into the late hours of this tag team matchup that has been under no disqualification rules. It has been back and forth between these two teams.
And again, what's on the line here? Potential #1 contendership for Toxic Attraction if they're able to defeat the current tag team champs and the Daughters of Thanos.
Shigo in a bad way. Gamora's got her up and down. Soul Reaper! That could be it. The cover is in by Gamora, and Kim Possible makes the save. I think she may have caught her free Ernest right on the way down.
I think she did, but, you know, again, I think that kind of comes back to the whole new attitude thing for Toxic Attraction. They don't really care what it takes if they're able to pick up victories from that. And I think it's just another day at the office for Ernest Wright.
Now Shigo, not sure where she was exactly planning on going there to set up Gamora, but now Irish whipped off the ropes and buries that knee into the abdomen section. Now the tag into Kim Possible. Gamora feel like needs to make a tag here pretty soon. She's taken a lot of punishment in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, Shigo and Kim Possible have been doing a great job with these frequent tags. And then as frequent on the other side, the champions might want to rethink their strategy. Oh no!
Big shoulder breaker by Gamora, and there is the needed tag to Nebula. Shot low. Code Red connects by Kim. Nebula down.
All these tables out here, I'm surprised nobody's gone through one yet.
We had that one table inside of the ring, and with the impact of these moves, the vibrations have it almost completely out of the ring there. Now Nebula's got Shigo up. Oh!
Oh!
Feeds her into that roundhouse kick.
I wonder if she was thinking about another one there instead with a DDT that might have busted her open.
Driving Shigo's head down into the mat, to your point. Some crimson trickling from the hairline of Shigo. Now Gamora looking to take advantage off the tag. Hooks the leg on Shigo and oh! Wow! How in the world did Shigo find the wherewithal to kick out? You could see the look on Gamora's face. She was facing in our direction. Absolute, utter disbelief.
You cannot believe it. It feels like this matchup should have ended 10 times over at this point.
Oh, big kick
man.
to the back of the head there by Gamora. Shigo may not even know where she's at right now after being busted open via the DDT. Nebula now in with the tag and will take liberties with a shot right into the ribs.
Vicious kicks, I think, have been the name of the game today. Not just in this matchup, but in all of them. And really, we're seeing it on full display here from these teams. Willing to do whatever it takes just to win a match, period, even if the titles aren't on the line.
Oh, nice go behind, full Nelson suplex by Shigo, dropping Nebula on the back of her head.
Shigo probably extra fired up after being busted open earlier. I'm going to make the tag.
Who is going to find that one move, that turning point of this matchup to pick up the victory here tonight? It has been back and forth as another Code Red connects.
And Gamora was thinking about another cheap shot there, didn't connect, and that springboard moonsault did. And be broken up by Gamora at 1. And another frequent tag by Toxic Attraction.
Shigo now Irish whipping Nebula off the ropes. Oh, got her up and down. Going for the cover here after the voltage vortex. Is that enough to pick up? Oh, it was enough. Pins Nebula. And now, to your earlier point, was that the pinfall that has now catapulted Toxic Attraction into #1 contendership for the tag team titles? They just pinned the champs.
I think it absolutely is. I mean, you know the way the matchup was going, Toxic Attraction, they're fired up, and the Daughters of Thanos, knowing that they just got pinned, they're absolutely going to want to run this one back. And speaking of running back, time for open challenges here coming up next after the break.
Well, a voltage vortex may be sending Toxic Attraction to a tag team title match. And as my colleague Jack makes his way to the back, the open challenge to find a new #1 contender for the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. Who will answer the call? We find out next after this break.
men's cruiserweight champion,
Well, it has been 82 days into his second reign as Wayfinder Cruiserweight Champion. Jack Mitchell, last couple of weeks, has been on a quest to find his next contender. Last week, the first match in the Jack Mitchell Open Challenge was answered by former Tri-Wizard champion King Candy, who was not able to topple the champ. Tonight, who will come out from behind the curtain? Will they be able to topple Jack Mitchell? At this point in time, with the run Jack's been on, we may not see that Wayfinder Cruiser Championship defended tomorrow night at Fantasia. We may have to potentially wait until we get to Kingdom Jewel, maybe as far out as Infinity War Games. We'll have to wait and see. But the question remains, who is willing to rise to the Open Challenge? Still to come tonight, Gotham Inmates take on Matt McIntyre and Double D of the Family in tag team action. Our final Fatal 4-Way qualifier for the Universal Heavyweight Championship match tomorrow night.
and his opponent, representing the Disciples of Darkness from New Orleans, Louisiana, weighing in at 163 pounds, Dr.
And the music of Dr. Facilier echoes through the Fantasy Dome. I cannot, in recent memory, remember the last time that we've seen Dr. Facilier inside of an FWE ring. And now here, he looks to put his name into the conversation, potentially to fight for the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. This is the beauty and the curse of an open challenge. You never know who is going to show up. Well, it's hard to be able to read expressions of Jack Mitchell with him having that mask. You really kind of only go by the eyes. And it looks like he is bound and determined here, not in any way dissuaded by the surprise arrival of Dr. Facilier. A little test of strength here in the early going. Mitchell winning that exchange for the moment as the collar and elbow tie-up once again in the center of the ring. And again, Mitchell able to get that advantage there. Facilier up against the ropes, and Ernest Wright gonna separate the two of them. Hits the cutter! Oh! And for the second time tonight, Ernest Wright finds himself down via contact. He took a bump in the previous match between the Daughters of Thanos and Toxic Attraction, and right there, I don't know if Jack caught him partially with the cutter or if Facilier got knocked back into him, but the referee is down as Facilier tried locking in a knee bar on Mitchell, who was able to get his hand underneath the bottom rope and force the break. Now the cover here after a kick to the lower back by Facilier, and oh, you can see there, Ernest Wright, I don't know if he feels that Facilier is to blame or if maybe he'll be slow counting the both of these guys here. But that might say for both competitors here that you're going to have to put your opponent away fully and completely. You cannot rely on just a normal 3 count in this matchup as Facilier to the top rope gonna hit. I believe that was a chop from the top rope. I couldn't tell if that was a chop or a clothesline, but either way it took Mitchell down. Now Mitchell with the fight back, big knee up under the jaw. And this time hits another cutter, springboarding off the middle ropes. Last week, Jack Mitchell eliminated King Candy from being #1 contender for the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. He's looking to do the same here tonight with the returning Dr. Facilier. Off the ropes, hits the side snap neck breaker, and now Mitchell on the outside, ushering Facilier to his feet. Through the ropes, hits the spear. Now just laying in right hand after right hand to the voodoo painted face. And laying in more shots. Ground and pound out of the Wayfinder Cruiser champion. And another big knee. Facilier debilitated, needed to use the ropes to get back up to a vertical base. That back elbow might buy him a little bit of space here though, as he'll hit a suplex, bridges into the cover. Mitchell's foot, I believe, was touching the ropes there. Ernest Wright did not notice it and was beginning the 3 count, but a kick out at 1 regardless. And now Mitchell fed to the outside. This is not a no countouts, no disqualification match. Ernest Wright will begin the 10 count here. Not sure exactly how much merit there would be if Facilier was able to get a countout victory over the champion, or if Mitchell was able to get a countout victory over Dr. Facilier. I'm not exactly sure how much momentum either individual would have. Hopefully we'll get this back inside of the ring, but we've still got time here before referee Ernest Wright gets to that count of 10 to dish out some punishment on the outside. Now Ernest Wright up to a count of 6. Dr. Facilier out here has not moved. And Mitchell now on the top, rope to the outside, hits the forearm. That should reset the count, but massive impact to the outside by the champ. Okay, if you're just joining us, this is a non-title open challenge by the Wayfinder Cruiser champion, Jack Mitchell. Dr. Facilier making his return. Oh, and nearly was on the receiving end of a Superman punch in the corner. Another bridging suplex by Facilier, and Mitchell out at 1. Mitchell with a side Russian leg sweep takedown. More right hands on the outside. Facilier, nice go behind and hits the DDT onto that thinly padded concrete floor. Now Facilier up top, perched on the top rope, long ways to Jack Mitchell. And I think he realized it. Whoa! Mitchell was going for the Superman punch. Facilier able to get out of the way of it. And now scoops Mitchell up. Modified backbreaker there, more targeting the rib section than the lower back, and a kick right into the gut. Now on the second rope here, Mitchell a little closer. Oh! And takes Mitchell down with a double knees meteora. Rather awkward landing for Mitchell, and still able to find his way out at 1. Oh, nice fisherman suplex, brainbuster there by Facilier. The champ is in trouble. Facilier is rolling. Straight kick right to the face. And now Dr. Facilier with a shot to the midsection. Oh no, might be thinking, oh, he hit the voodoo curse. Voodoo curse by Facilier. Can he pin the Wayfinder Cruiser champion? No! Mitchell with the kick out at 2. Oh, Jack looked for a reversal there, but a shot to the back of the neck. Facilier with a big running start and hits a suplex with the aid of the ropes. Now Facilier perched in the corner. What could he be thinking? Mitchell in his sights. He hits the other side. Kick right to the side of the head. Cover is in. And Dr. Facilier, a triumphant return to FWE, has just pinned the Cruiserweight champion. I don't know which was more shocking. Dr. Facilier making his return inside of the Fantasy Dome, or the fact that he has just picked up a pinfall victory over Mitchell in his open challenge. It will certainly be interesting to get the thoughts of my broadcast colleague when he makes his way back here alongside me here at the commentary table as we now get ready for our next matchup. Joker and Penguin of the Gotham Inmates looking for #1 contendership status for the tag team titles. They take on a couple of other family members, Matt McIntyre and Double D. It's tag team action next.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 345 pounds, Matt McIntyre and Edward the Family.
Well, you see Matt McIntyre leading Ed, and Eddie down to the ring. Double D in the middle there will tag with him tonight. On either side, you see Ed and Eddie, the current holders of the Men's Disney Tag Team Championships. Looks like they're going to be joining their compatriots along ringside here tonight for this tag team matchup. And speaking of champions, my colleague has joined me back here at the commentary table. Jack, I don't feel like that matchup went quite the way you expected. I mean, I was shocked to see Dr. Facilier back inside of the Fantasy Dome. Did that come into play maybe in that matchup at all?
It certainly caught me off guard, I'm not going to lie, but I feel like at the same time, like I was talking about earlier tonight, you either win or you learn, and, you know, if that matchup between me and Dr. Facilier for the title has to end up happening tomorrow, then so be it. I'm down. The whole point of the open challenge anyway, so.
Combined weight of 504 pounds. And
Dr. Facilier may have potentially earned himself a future title shot. That's exactly what these two men are looking for as well in the tag team division. They've been on an incredible run as of late. It all really kicked off when they ended up winning that fatal four-way tornado tag match. Joker tapping out Obi-Wan Kenobi. We then saw them last week with a decisive victory over the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who had formerly held the Men's Disney Tag Team Championships. And here tonight, this matchup taking on Matt McIntyre and Double D. From what we understand, this was, I guess, kind of a brainchild of the leader of the family, Michael Norman.
Yeah, I think we've been hearing some reports that Michael Norman was up to his old tricks, leaving notes on the commissioner's desk again, and basically demanding that this matchup happen. And ultimately, this is what it's all led to here. If the family are not able to defeat the Gotham Inmates here tonight, then the Gotham Inmates are going to be in #1 contendership position. But we're going to have to see how this all plays out.
One would certainly have to wonder what the Thrill Seekers feel about that, with the Gotham Inmates potentially claiming #1 contendership. They've been on a tremendous roll on Thursday Night Throwdown as well, trying to put themselves into #1 contendership, as Double D going to start things out here with Joker. You see Matt McIntyre take a cheap shot. Of course, Matt's going to be busy tomorrow night, as we understood earlier on this evening that he will get his rematch against Wonder Woman for the United States Championship, with the stipulation chosen by the champ, steel cage match, to absolutely ensure that no members of the family will get involved in that title match.
your earlier point as well, something else that I want to consider as well. You know, you definitely cannot write off the Thrill Seekers in this whole situation either. They've also been on a tear as of late, as you mentioned on Thursday Night Throwdown. So I have to wonder, do they maybe get themselves involved in this somehow?
That's a great point. Just because this is a brand expansion does not necessarily mean that we couldn't see representatives of Thursday Night show up on Saturdays and vice versa. So and they may make their presence felt here, make their voices heard as they continue to try and joust for that #1 contendership, as Penguin with some big shots there to Double D, and now subsequent tags on both sides. Joker gonna square off now here with Matt McIntyre.
Big night here for Matt McIntyre as well, not only trying to win this matchup and make sure that the tag team titles at least stay away from the Gotham inmates, but also gotta make sure he stays as close to 100% as he can be. A steel cage match is pretty brutal. Big kick there from Joker.
You bring up a great point. One thing I was going to be interested to see here is, would Double D be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this matchup with Matt McIntyre to keep himself as fresh as possible going in to that matchup against the Amazon Wonder Woman tomorrow night, albeit inside of the steel structure as well.
And we're going to get tagged in here. And yeah, I mean, Matt, you know, that's a great point. Matt definitely, you know, obviously he wants to do what he can for the family, but at the end of the day, you've got to be smart about it, realize what's at stake in the future, because you really, I'm not really sure that he's going to get many other chances at that United States Championship that he held for 330 days, or 333 days, as that cover attempt was broken up.
Oh, nice avoidance there by Matt McIntyre as Penguin was looking for that rolling senton, and now side Russian leg sweep going to take Penguin down and going to start wailing away here with fists to face. See Ed and Eddie there on the outside looking on. Certainly a bit of a distracting presence if you are Joker and Penguin. Have held those tag team championships now for 118 days. They've turned back formidable challenges from the Black Pearl crew, and most recently the Thrill Seekers at Combat Evolved. Again, we talk about the pressures of being at the top of the tag team division for both the men's and the women's side with the brand extension. You're basically fighting a war on two fronts. You never know where the #1 contendership is coming from.
No, you don't. Those tag team titles, they're not committed to one brand over the other, so.
Ooh, Matt McIntyre, I think, might have been going for a pile driver of some sort, and Penguin avoided near disaster.
Pile driver, powerbomb, some kind of move like that, but Penguin was able to work his way around it. Oh, Joker will be tagged in.
Ushering Matt McIntyre, rather, to his feet. Oh! He's got that lengthy extension with his legs, but Matt McIntyre too far away, did not connect. Does connect that time, though, with that move. Like a jaw jacker of some kind. Cover in on Matt and almost picked up the victory. Matt able to just barely get the shoulder up.
I don't know how Matt knows where he is right now. Slowly working his way back up to his feet. Joker with another kick to the gut, though.
Oh, might be setting up for that wing clipper. He's got it locked in. This is how he tapped up Obi-Wan Kenobi a couple of weeks ago. And Matt's going to tap as well.
Here are your winners, Joe and Ty Guan.
Well, two things that kind of jump out to me. The shortness of that matchup, but let's bear in mind, Matt McIntyre has a match tomorrow night. Was that a tap out of self-preservation?
Could very well be the case. I mean, you know the stakes are huge for him tomorrow, and you know, that's certainly not going to go over well in the family's locker room because they've got to defend the tag team titles now at Fantasia, but things are going to get very interesting going forward.
So by hook or by crook, it doesn't matter. A win is a win as Joker and Penguin look to continue to establish themselves as #1 contenders for the tag title. And up next, folks, it's our main event. One spot left to fill in the Fatal 4-Way tomorrow night. We get ready for our main event here tonight, our final fatal four-way.
Making his way to the ring from Athens, Greece, weighing in at 287 pounds, Kron!
The final fatal four-way to determine who will be the last participant tomorrow evening in Orlando, Florida at Fantasia to fight for the brand new Universal Heavyweight Champion. And we talked earlier on tonight in the previous qualifying matchup when we saw Thanos making his way down. Well, Kratos, who has been engulfed in that rivalry with Thanos, certainly has to be around the same percentage physically as Thanos was in his matchup.
Which is not anywhere near close to 100%, but he was on the victorious end of that Falls Count Anywhere match that we saw main event last week, so he's certainly feeling at least mentally better than Thanos. It probably feels like he has momentum in his corner now as he enters this fatal four-way matchup.
You mentioned about him kind of evening the score, and now one win apiece between those two in this monstrous rivalry. You gotta think if Kratos walked out tonight as one of the four contenders for the Universal Heavyweight Championship, that would be a slap in the face to Thanos in some way.
Sure would be.
From out of this world, weighing in at 228 pounds.
Well, Anakin Skywalker, we ended up last week seeing a little bit of an exchange between him and Obi-Wan Kenobi when they were unsuccessful in that fatal four-way tornado tag team matchup. Now focusing on singles action here tonight as he will look to make his way to Fantasia tomorrow night.
Yeah, obviously Anakin a little bit frustrated that the matchup, the tag team matchup that he was involved in with Obi-Wan did not go his way, but might find some, I guess, a little bit of solace knowing that his team, Obi-Wan, I guess, was not the only one to tap out to that submission by Jojo. After what we just saw in that last tag team match.
I don't know, should we read into the fact that Anakin's coming out here by himself? Fatal four-ways, there's no disqualifications. You can have somebody out here at ringside, and after we ended up here in an exchange between the two, each other saying, hey, I got your back, no Obi-Wan Kenobi to be seen.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure if Obi-Wan decided to stay behind. Anakin maybe told him, I got this one, or not really sure what that discussion was in the locker room, but nevertheless, Anakin comes out here alone tonight, and not going to be easy taking on somebody like Kratos, and we'll see who else is in this matchup in a moment.
So far, we continue the trend outside of Hulk, who is involved in the first qualifier. Every other individual been involved in these fatal four-ways so far have never held a world championship here in FWE. Tomorrow night, that could all change for one individual.
And representing the Agents from Asgard, weighing in at 288 pounds, Troy!
Well, speaking of Hulk, one last opportunity for a representative of the Friends from Work to fight for the Universal Heavyweight Championship tomorrow night as his tag team partner Thor going to be a part of this fatal four-way qualifier.
Somebody who has never been a world champion before, but somebody who has been a tag team champion before, so this will be really interesting to see if Thor can get the job done here. Or at least I'm pretty sure he's been a tag team champion before. I'll have to verify that.
You would be correct. And up to this point, I was going to give the power advantage in this fatal four-way to Kratos, but Thor might give him a run for his money.
And representing the family
Oh,
from
boy.
Orlando, Florida, weighing in at 301 pounds, Michael Norton!
Here comes somebody who was a world champion before, albeit for about 5 minutes, because we saw Will Turner at Combat Evolved rush to the ring dressed as the Shadow Lord and cashed in his power-up briefcase to take the Tri-Wizard Championship from Michael Norman, who had just won it from Shaggy Rogers.
At the time was when the Tri-Wizard Championship lay vacant after the suspension of RJ Bishop. So to your point, Michael Norman now one of 2 individuals involved in these fatal 4-ways that could find his way back up to the top of the mountain. Think about this as well. Yes, Michael Norman held the Triwizard Championship for a cup of coffee, but if he wins here tonight, goes on to Orlando, which would be a home crowd match for him tomorrow night at Fantasia, he would be the only individual to hold 2 different world championships here in FWE.
Stakes could not be higher, and you have to feel like Michael a little bit extra motivated by the fact that he lost the belt as quickly as he did. Probably wants to regain a world championship, even if it's a different one, and try to hold on to it for a little bit longer than 5 minutes.
Well, the matchup I was hoping to see, we're getting right out of the gate there. Thor locking up with Kratos, had an early cover there, and Michael Norman quick on the spot to make sure that that 3 count didn't take place. Of course, we didn't see Michael out here at ringside earlier on when we ended up seeing Ed and Matt McIntyre fall prey to the Gotham inmates. Now we know why.
Try to keep his focus.
We are so looking forward to tomorrow night's matches at our first Sunday PLE as we revisit Fantasia. We know that Carlos Zimmerman, he will be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Flynn Rider.
That's going to be an absolutely massive matchup. We've got the finals of the Iron Queen tournament as well. It's going to be Elizabeth Swan taking on Jasmine.
Elizabeth Swan looking to get her second different world title, and well, we saw earlier on tonight, Toxic Attraction picked up that victory over the Daughters of Thanos. They get a shot at the tag team titles tomorrow night.
Just like that, a rematch later. And how about that?
Whoa!
Maybe the Thrill Seekers are going to get involved in that tag team title picture on the men's side, and it looks like they have.
Gotham inmates as well going to be fighting for that, and based off tonight as well, looks like, as you said, if it be for the title, so be it. Tomorrow night, you get Dr. Facilier.
Rematch 24 hours later. Here comes another rematch, a big one as well. Wonder Woman taking on Matt McIntyre. She announced the stipulation earlier tonight. It would be in a steel cage.
And of course, the Triwizard Championship will be on the line. They were allies this past Thursday night, but William Turner will defend the belt against Robbie Gilvin. Robbie's first match for a world championship here in FWE. It's all going down. Less than 24 hours. I can't believe that I'm saying that. We are literally less than a day away from heading to the most magical place on earth to revisit the Fantasia PLE.
Yeah, as soon as this matchup is done, you and I, we're going to have to get on the private jet and get over there as quickly as we can.
And one of these 4 individuals will have to do the same.
It'll be a really interesting experience as Anakin just jumped out of the rope.
Michael Norman. Oh, gosh! Alabama slam on the outside. I'm not 100% that Thor, the back of his head, may not have hit the top of the ring apron on the way down as well.
Anakin was going to work on some people too while we were reading those matchups. He had a kendo stick in hand and he was dishing out some punishment that way. All legal in the Fatal 4-Way.
3 individuals have already secured their spots to fight tomorrow night for the Universal Heavyweight Championship. Levi McIntyre was the first one to do so a couple of weeks ago. Cole Eastwood joined in last week, and earlier on tonight, Peter Pan secured himself a spot in the Final 4. 1 spot remains. One of these 4 individuals will fill that slot. Will it be Norman? Will it be Thor, Anakin Skywalker, or Kratos?
Anakin with that huge elbow to the face on Thor. Michael Norman, though, going to swoop in and take advantage of that. Has Anakin up on the shoulders. Drop him into that top corner turnbuckle.
A clothesline there by Thor takes down Kratos. Anakin fights his way out of the corner, is met with a right hand by Norman, and then follows up with a suplex. Now looking for the ripcord lariat clothesline, turning Anakin inside out.
Cover here.
Right in front of Thor, who wasn't paying attention at the initial. Broke it up nonetheless.
But Michael was a little bit too zeroed in on Anakin Skywalker, paid the price for not paying attention to Thor. Thor going to go into the cover, and everybody else is going to break it up as a spear by Anakin on a Kratos.
Massive spear on Kratos. Saw Kratos coming in with a steel chair, kind of puts me in mind of That Falls Count Anywhere match between him and Thanos. Oh! Thor with the massive lightning strike forearm on Kratos. And Thanos is moving on.
Here is your winner,
Thor with the pinfall over Kratos. You gotta feel like Kratos is gonna be frustrated about that one.
Absolutely. As there you see it, folks. The finals have been determined. McIntyre, Eastwood, Peter Pan, and Thor will meet in the ring tomorrow night to fight for the brand new Universal Heavyweight Championship. Oh!
Look at this.
Well, Kratos, after falling victim to that bullhammer forearm, now Thanos attacking him backstage. These two are not done with each other yet.
Kratos is fighting back. These two have been going to war the last few weeks, and it's still not done.
The rivalry between two behemoths now makes its way backstage once again. It was a Falls Count Anywhere matchup last week. We didn't see them make their way to this part of the arena. Now they have, as laying in the shots is Kratos to Thanos. Neither one advanced earlier on tonight.
You have to imagine that Thanos
That's
takes
enough.
his moment too.
Break it up right now. I
on
swear,
a
if you don't
second.
break it up, I will have no problem. Suspend the both of you. I have tried and tried to accommodate you both and to keep this rivalry within the confines of the ring. Clearly, those attempts have failed. So you really want to know who the bigger man is? Fine, we find out tomorrow night at Fantasia when you two will finally settle this issue in an underground street fight.
Are you kidding me?
Did he just say underground street fight?
Tomorrow night, folks, at Fantasia. Do not miss it. We'll see you there.